So within the Supper Club, we're increasingly seeing more of our members investing in technology to actually pivot their business, whether it's getting more business from existing customers, so whether it's taking a consultancy service and cascading it through the organisation with technology, or actually finding a brand new customer base with a new bit of tech.
If you're going to be spending 100, 200 grand upwards and you're going to be spending ongoing, get a CTO or a product manager with experience from day one. It'll save you in the long term. If you don't have that resource in-house, you're going to spend way more and screw up way more than you need to. Think about simplifying. It's very easy. I know from personal experience, we had great ambitions for a product that would do a whole range of things. But I think if you look at the apps that succeed nowadays, we use, for example, Trello and Slack. They're both beautifully simple to use, and beautifully simple is incredibly hard to achieve. So I would recommend, get all of your ambitions down on paper and then spend weeks or months paring that right back and working out the UX before you start doing any of the heavy lifting on the back-end development or programming.
It's all about execution, execution, execution. Idea on its own is quite worthless. What is worthy is the drive that an entrepreneur has and the passion that he has to take it out. So sometimes the way that it started, it might end up being something completely else. But what drove it there is the passion of the entrepreneur and the execution. At different stages, an investor is going to look at different things. So what is important for each stage of kind of gathering more investment is proving that your process is working. So basically, that you went from A to B, and you gather data that this idea, that this product should exist. And you can convince investors, the more money they're going to put in, the more sophisticated they're going to be. So you'll have to prove with more and more data that you can do that. But certainly in the very early stages, they invest in you. So the most capital is about you and your ability to be a CEO, be a founder, be an entrepreneur.
The role of talent in securing investment is absolutely pivotal. If you speak to a lot of investors, they're not just investing in the tech, they're investing in the team. So they're not necessarily backing the horses, they're backing the jockeys. For an investor to correctly and accurately identify the value in a business, they need to understand who they have within it. And a lot of these businesses are pre-revenue. They don't have the money to go out to market and hire the best people, the smartest people that are going to rocket them from here to here. So how do they do it? And therein lies the issue for a lot of tech entrepreneurs. How do they attract these people to their organization? The co-founder model is really important, and it's a great tool for all entrepreneurs. If you correctly define your problem statement, the top talent are attracted to the best problem, to the most attractive problem. So if you can find one of those individuals that's really going to add value, and you can, for lack of a better term, if you can get them to put their skin in the game so that you can get them to work for the business at a relatively low cost, but have some equity, and they're going to be in there for the long haul, that's really attractive to an investor.
There are 4 million SME businesses in the UK today, and the government's own figures say that 15% of those may be in a position to claim for R&D tax credits, which is 600,000. And in the 15 years since the system's been going, something less than 20,000 have actually claimed. Could be tech businesses, or it could be generally like non-tech businesses who have got a tech bit to something that they're doing. Could just be their CRM system or some part of their process or something where they're selling IP to other businesses. So for example, they're selling, I don't know, a bespoke CRM system, and the business, their client, is paying for those services or for that process or that system. Then what we try and encourage businesses to do is to wrap that up in a sort of tax efficient way, so that in effect HMRC underwrites their pricing to a large extent, because many of their customers who may not be in tech type businesses don't really understand that this type of investment, even for a business which is not like a tech business, is allowable for tax in this way. So it's just a huge benefit, and all businesses should look into the opportunity.
I guess if I was to look back and think what would we do differently, I wouldn't take things for granted. You know, when technology works, you forget about it, and you shouldn't even realise it's there if it's doing its job. And we didn't invest enough in the early days in redundancy and very, very boring things technically. They make a huge difference when they're not there. So what we would have done differently, added more payment providers, added more technical redundancy to our hosting. We've done all that now, but we certainly learnt some hard lessons along the way.